Okay, welcome back. And next up, we are reviewing Black Sabbath's album, or latest album, 13. Did you like it?
Did I like it? Well...
Do you like rock?
I like rock. I'm not very experienced with rock. I wouldn't necessarily say I know a lot of Sabbath's back catalogue. But on the other hand, I did enjoy it. I did think it was a...
What do you normally listen to and what do you like? And then...
Well, in contrast, it would usually be more sort of indie rock genre. But in terms of a rock album and in terms of someone who doesn't necessarily listen to that much rock, I did enjoy it, and I did think it was a well-made album.
John?
Pretty much the same. It's not normally the sort of thing that I'd listen to.
What's your sort of stuff?
Just anything really.
Anything?
Pretty much anything.
Like a bit of anything.
But I don't tend to go for hard rock albums.
You know you dancing as well, don't you?
Yeah.
That's all you really know. But you
yeah.
do enjoy the sort of Indian rock stuff, don't you?
Yeah. But like I said, normally like a hard rock album wouldn't really go for it, but actually listening to it, I went in with an open mind and thought actually there's quite a lot of really good aspects to it. Definitely is.
See, I think that's a good thing because I've been into rock quite a long time, but I've never really ventured down the Black Sabbath path. I've seen Ozzy Osbourne play a couple of times with his band, with his solo stuff, but never really got into Black Sabbath. I was more of a Metallica, Nirvana kind of guy. But I think that's good because I've heard a lot of people say that it sounds a lot like their old stuff. They're copying old stuff and they're copying old riffs. And some people are moaning about that, but for someone like yourself who don't really listen to Black Sabbath to say, that you did enjoy it. It was, for me, it was back to how they used to be, which is exactly what they should do. If another band turned up and said we haven't played up for ages, we're just reforming, they're not just going to start playing country and western just because they want to be different. It wouldn't. They have to create this Black Sabbath album, otherwise everyone would moan that they've done something completely off the wall. So
I think they did do that. It sounded that as we've all said, neither of us are particular Black Sabbath fans and know the back catalogue inside out, but it sounded like all the other Black Sabbath stuff that you've ever heard.
Yeah.
It sounded right, and for that, I think that's what made it so enjoyable.
There was some of the riffs were really good.
It was what you'd expect from a Sabbath album, in my opinion, anyway.
Do you have any issues with it? Is it all good? The whole thing?
I think this may be a personal issue, and it may go down to the fact that I'm not a heavy rock fan, but I did at times feel as though the guitar solos dragged on a bit too much. I enjoyed them. I thought it was very skillful and very well done, but at times I was very like.
There were times when it was almost like it was being performed at a festival.
Yeah.
And it was like the musical interludes to get the rest of the next bit set up and all that sort of stuff. That's what it seemed like in times and spaces.
No.
Yeah.
No. I thought the solos are cracking. I thought that they've gone back to, they've got this, back in the day you'd have a rock album, Dream Theater, even Sepultura and a few all sort of bands, and they're 8-minute tracks and they're pretty epic. Don't get me wrong, you're never going to play them in a rock club. You're never really going to listen as a bite-sized piece, but as a full album, 8 minutes with a big solo, big sort of sections, slow section, fast section. I thought it was great, and I thought it's nice to have an album that does that for a while.
I completely agree, and it is one of those albums that if I was in that mood and I wanted to listen to that sort of music, happily put it on.
The solos are too long.
Well, no, I'd have.
So you like the solos?
I didn't say I didn't like them. I said I did like them. I just felt they were a bit too long for the sort of purposes that you're talking about. If you wanted to go and play it in a pub.
You couldn't play Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of, and then stick in.
Exactly.
God is Dead, and
that's
the end
issue
of
I
the beginning.
If you're just sitting there chilling out and you want to listen to a good album,
I think
then
you're
the length
right.
of the guitar solos don't make a blind bit of difference, really.
You're driving along, I'm going to stick on a rock album,
Yeah.
get the Sabbath out, boom, put it in, I'll enjoy
it's
it.
perfect
And you can
for that.
enjoy it, and you can enjoy Ozzy Osbourne's whiny, stupid voice.
Oh, I really didn't enjoy his voice on this one.
Sounds a little, possibly a touch of auto-tune, maybe.
Oh, he's got more of effects on there than a guitarist's board on a band. It's just full of effects, wasn't it? But it always has been with him, unfortunately. I mean, I know people will probably shout me down for this. He can't sing very well.
No.
He never could. He was always about a front man, which is a great front man, but obviously he's
But
he's
then
at a certain
a
height now.
great front man as well doesn't really come across in terms of an album, does it?
Well, no. Yeah, you got a point there. I think the one thing I hated was there was. I think it just felt for me that the lyrics and it was everything. Even the riffs were slightly taken out the big book of rock, and they all sat down, opened this big book. Ozzy went, right, this track's going to be about. I'm obviously having troubles with the missus, so I'm going to write about that, and I'm going to take that word. It was almost like he's on the fridge, putting these rock words, and it was moon and dragon and demon and soul, and then just put them all together, and there's your tune. There was one track where he says that he hated, he didn't want to die, but he didn't want to live forever.
Yeah.
And then the following track was I want to die, or I don't want to die. And it was like, well, hang on, you've obviously, that's a different day, you've gone into the studio, and it's like, now we're doing track 4,
To
let's
be
get
fair,
the big book
So
out.
is
to Ozzy,
it
he
more
didn't
of
write the
a,
lyrics.
is it more of a journey through the album?
Well, he's decided from that track to that track. He's decided. Actually, yes, I will. I do want to die now.
But as
I didn't
I
want
said-
to die. 5
As I
minutes
said,
ago.
Ozzy didn't write the lyrics though, so he's just
Yeah, it was. Well,
Simply what
he
has
helped
been
write
given.
the song, but it was Mr. Butler, I think it was, who did most of the writing, and they got a different drummer, just to let everyone know, just so we do know a little bit of information on this. They got the drummer from Rage. So. Let's get your scores. Give a couple of lines of what you thought of overall, John, and then what.
I think very well produced album.
So you'd recommend it?
I would recommend it. Yeah. I would recommend it. One of my personal favourite tracks, Loner. I thought it was, just a really catchy riff to it, and really nice. Enjoyed that. But one of the main downsides is only 8 tracks, which is obviously on the.
But it's still the length. I mean, the length was there.
Yeah, the length's there, but you kind of think, okay, come on, you'd be able to.
Bang for your buck.
Yeah, a band like Black Sabbath, you'd think that there'd be more than that.
Oh.
Which I know that there are more on different formats.
Yeah.
But why do they restrict?
Yeah,
people?
exactly. Yeah. So what was it you gave it?
Overall, gave it 82.
82. Yeah.
overall 72,
72.
so slightly lower. I think that may be something to do with just my own personal opinions on that sort of genre of music.
But would you recommend it?
Would totally recommend it. Great album. Go out and buy it. Very good.
So you get 72. I think apart from obviously if you like Ozzy and you don't mind Ozzy, I think a lot of the tracks have some really great riffs. There's a lot of old stuff that they've pulled into the new stuff, bit generic. Overall though, I gave it 85. I thought it was a boss on. That's my new word. So that's an MGAM total average score of 80. So I think so go out and buy it because you might like it.
Silver medal.
Silver.
Medal.
Indeed.
Silver medal.